Yo, it's your boy, hero of the New Fox Clan, and I've read your comments, I've seen your theories, I've hacked your brains, and I see, with my mostly all-seeing eye, that there is still a lot of confusion going around about Scare Bear. Myself included, I still think, I've made 2 other videos, but are they right? So I've decided to make another video. That would be my 3rd in total to tackle this question again. Final chance before the movie comes out. Lay out all the theories and clues, and give my real final guess. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna look at everything, see if I missed anything, read all the comments, all the love you guys have left me, and see if I can't find out who really is behind that mask. So first off, we have to ask ourselves, who is Scare Bear? Like really, what do we know about him? Well, you know, we've got our guesses and theories, but let's look at the facts. Let's see what he really does in the show. Now, the first time we ever see Scare Bear is at Impossible Industries when he's trying out for the Revenge Society, and it's here we get a good look at his appearance. As a lot of you guys have pointed out, the men in the Venture Bros, they all have these black eyes with no color, while the women characters, they mostly all have these colored eyes. Jesus Christ, he's so fucking hot! So a lot of people are saying, okay, he's probably a dude. He's also got like a dude's build. Some people were saying in the comments that he's got boobs in the costume. I don't see that at all. Put the crack pipe down. He's also probably white from the skin we can see around his eyes. He's pretty big, he's pretty tall, but that could just be the suit itself. We don't really know his exact measurements. He says nothing at all, just breathes super heavily in like a old school slasher kind of way, like Mike Myers might. Scares the shit out of Phantom Limb. And he's got his bear costume with a blood stain. He's got a knife. It's worth mentioning that in this scene, Dean also says he has no idea how Scare Bear got in. He's just like a scary random guy. At this point in the show, he was just like a gag to everybody. He's got like no resume or anything. He's probably not with the guild or any other organized crime. They say all this in the scene. And some people don't know this, but he also shows up briefly at the Doom Factory party episode. He doesn't do anything. He's just kind of in the background, but like, what's he doing there? It's all about when we see him in the Blizzard episode, the Forecast Manufacturer. This is the episode where Hank is seriously freaking out about Serena. He can't get in touch with her. He knocks himself out on his way to go find her in the blizzard. He gets heavily injured, so much so that he's in a coma in the next episode. And Scare Bear finds him, takes him to go get chips. Then he takes Hank to Dean's dorm, where Hank, in a daze, finds Serena and Dean in bed, presumably banging one out. They talk for a bit, and then Hank passes out and goes into said coma. That's it. So who the fuck is Scare Bear? Why the fuck did he do that? Is he just some random fucking dude? Well, I think that it's clear that Scare Bear, he at least somewhat cares about Hank. I mean, he saves Hank for no reason, but then he's like also going out of his way to get him chips and bring him to go see his brother and his girlfriend together in bed. Like, that seems like, yeah, you could say a random guy would go and pick up Hank off the snow, but not go that extra mile to go do some like life-changing bullshit to him. So he's got a connection to Hank and, you know, the Venture family by extension. How else can you explain why Scare Bear even knows where Dean and Serena are gonna be and what they're up to? So it's safe to say that he most likely wanted to like help Hank out in some capacity, like, but also kind of like inform him about the whole Serena thing. Analyzing his motivations is the key to all of this, I believe. I mean, there's all that. It's kind of a mystery, right? I wouldn't make this video if it was fucking easy to solve. So then the question is he really just some random weird villain who happened across Hank and also knew where Hank could find Dean and Serena? I completely fucking doubt it. That's not the old Venture Bros style. Man, I'm dead. So let's look at everybody else, all the theories and all the established characters and what everybody's saying, and let's get the shitty fucking guesses out of the way. I mean, no offense, but you know. So sorry if any of these were your theory, but I'm not holding back. And the first one we're going to take a look at is Myra. So, why isn't it Myra? Well, her personality doesn't fit this character at all. She's loud, clingy, crazy, and would presumably act the way she always acts around Hank. There's no motivation for her to take on the weird persona of Scare Bear. She has no problem reaching out to Dean as herself a couple episodes back, and she doesn't really fit anywhere into the whole mystery of Scare Bear. Why would she be at all these villain places beforehand? She also doesn't really fit the body build and the eyes. And let's be honest, she got her wrap-up episode when they're done at the asylum. They don't really need to use her in the story anymore. We already know what's going on with her. Guild wasps show up to recontrol the prison at the end of the episode, and though she could probably break out again and maybe change her personality, you know, I really don't see it happening. Sorry fam, I don't think that's it. Next. So I really don't know why there were so much comments on my other video for this guy. I mean, yeah, there's a couple clues here and there that kind of point that maybe it could be the nozzle, but I mean, come on guys, the nozzle is a little far-fetched. I would respect it if you didn't leave such stupid comments on my posts in the future.
The nozzle is now calibrated.
Okay, so some people seem to think it could be Jared trying to break up Hank and Serena so he could get back with Serena, and I just gotta say, like, what are you even thinking? What kind of crack are you even smoking to make those conclusions? Why would you try to get your ex back by showing her current boyfriend that she's cheating on him with a totally different guy? How does that make Serena come back to Jared? Like, what are you guys thinking? Maybe you think he's got some crazy plan?
Or maybe he's a fucking idiot? Rick Ross!
Thank you!
People also point out that he has a bear costume, but the mascot from Studivescent University is actually a beaver, which we can see clearly in this scene. Also, during the Doom Factory party, where we see Scare Bear is physically there, we know Jared is busy during that same episode. Oh, what's he busy doing? He's actually helping Hank on his date with Serena, so I mean, literally no motivation. Unless he has a body double, he can't be in two places at the same time. It's a terrible theory.
You're a fucking asshole.
To my surprise, I actually got a lot of actual comments about this one. Some people think that the time loop extra Brock Sampson from that specific episode is Scare Bear, the Brock from Escape from the House of Mummies Part 2. I find this one absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the bear costumes that they bring up as evidence aren't the same at all. The knife that they bring up as evidence that Scare Bear has is completely different from Brock's knife. That episode was kind of like a joke within a joke. It was like season 1 or 2, and although there's been callbacks from things as early as like the pilot in season 1, you really think there's just been 2 Brocks this whole time, and one of them is a silent slasher villain? What motivation would he have at all to do that? Some people are like, oh, he wants to watch over the Venture Bros, the Venture family. Okay, I mean, go off and make up whatever is entertaining to you, sure, why not? But what actual reason would he have to become Scare Bear at all? Why not just be a second Brock? It literally makes zero sense to me. You'd have to show me so much evidence in the show before I would be like, oh, okay, I believe that. I mean, I'll eat my shoe if he's Scare Bear. If the movie comes out and that's the reveal, I'll eat my motherfucking shoe. And if I'm wrong, the movie's title better be Escape from the House of Mummies Part 4, or I'll lose my shit. This Killinger, it seems like a cop-out, introducing a new guy, you know, new mystery. It was just Killinger, one of his buddies, or something like that, like the Oni ghost trying to put the world in order. I mean, yeah, it's not impossible. It's just as likely as Scare Bear being any other random new character. I don't know why Killinger would intervene then, and not any of the other times Hank was in danger or anything else, or why it's also so important that he brings Hank to see Dean and Serena. And I'm gonna keep it real, I just don't see it at all. It would feel lazy, and the Venture Bros doesn't really do lazy. Last time Killinger intervened in such a way, it was wrapped up at the end of that very episode, what with the whole Oni ghost thing. And so if he had another friend of his pretending to be Scare Bear, or if it was just him as Scare Bear, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Killinger, he mostly works for like the guild interest. He's always trying to help villains, help people become villains. It would just seem like such a cop-out when you have so much other cool things you could do. I know I'm talking about what it isn't right now, but just wait till the end of the video, you'll see what I believe they could really pull together. And then real quickly, some people think it's Teddy, you know, they're both big psycho guys. I could go on forever why it's not Teddy, but he was presumably within the insane asylum at the time of the Revenge Society meeting and the Doom Factory party or whatever. 24? Nah, he's dead. That would cheapen his death to just bring him back, though it would be crazy. I'd love to see them try to explain that one.
Yo! Yo, holy shit, he dead!
Yeah, it could be Dermot. I mean, it's not impossible. Dermot's like a weird guy. Maybe moonlights as a villain on the side of his OSI rookie shit, but I just don't see it. The people who think this, though, they're smoking a far healthier strain of crack than those Brock from the House of Mummies guys. I don't know what's going on with them.
Stop doing drugs.
Who is Scare Bear? It's one of the few theories that the show still hasn't answered.
Okay, I hear you. Man strong, he's got this history of being like a psycho. He's got a similar build. All right, could be him. First off, though, name an actual reason for him doing any of this Hank-related shit based on the evidence of the show, not just like a wild theory. And now that you fucking can't do that because it doesn't exist, remember that he also freaks out anytime he's around like sexually related stuff, like he crashes the fucking whole Gargantua 1 because he was getting like a handy at the time. And we see Scare Bear standing right next to Dean and Serena, who are both like naked, you know, probably just got done banging one out, and he's not freaking out or anything, but maybe he's just so psychotic he doesn't do that anymore. Okay, well, back to point number 1. He has absolutely no motivation at all. It's not even like where you could say it's Killinger, where he's been known to do this mysterious interfering to try to set things right. Manstrong has no reason to just go this specific type of crazy after the events of Guess Who's Coming to State Dinner. And actually unrelated to Scare Bear, but kind of fitting, is I think Manstrong's got a different part to play in this upcoming movie. He'll most likely be featured in a flashback scene that's going to explain the whole movie night massacre. And that's probably going to go down like he sees a sex scene in the movie and accidentally pulls open the bay doors or something, and that's why he's so weird about sex. That's like his whole deal in the future. I don't think he's Scare Bear. I think that's his reveal, but I can make a whole video on that, so Yes, Brock has an unnamed brother that is mentioned in passing in I think like one episode, and yeah, it could be that. There's no information on this guy at all, so yeah, it really could be. Assuming he's got a build like Brock, you know, it could easily fit. I'm sure you could try to think of all sorts of reasons why this could be the answer. Maybe he's just watching over the family in a different way, because who knows, we know nothing about his character. But it's just a lot of jumps to make, and I don't buy it, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. Alright, those of you who have stuck around till the end, it's finally time to get to the last two guesses, which I think have the most credence for being correct. Now, the last theory video I made said that it was Dean. Oh, Dean, how he cucked his brother and then his brother died for being dumb as hell in a blizzard, and so guilt-ridden Dean becomes the villain Scare Bear and uses the time travel machine from the same episode to go back in time to save Hank and show Hank the truth to appease this future Dean's guilt. Well, I disagree with myself. You see, Dean has always, almost more than any other character in the show, shown one trait really strongly, and that is that he does not care about this super science life at all. He doesn't want to be a hero or a super scientist or a villain or anything like that. He just wants to be normal. I cannot believe he would be driven to such lengths as to becoming Scare Bear. Not anymore, at least. Dean is shown in the last episode that's currently released to actually have a pretty good handle on expressing his grief. And even the misshapen Dean clone that we've seen so long ago, even he wasn't like a super duper crazy Scare Bear level kind of villain. Even that fucked up Dean clone's main objective was to just stop being fucking weird, and at the end of his whole plan was just wanted to be normal. I also think to myself, why would Dean time travel so far back into the past as to be at the Revenge Society scene? I mean, that makes no sense. If he was truly there to help out Hank, then why would he be so far back? And if you really want this theory to be true, go watch my last video on loop and drown in the copium, but I'm on a different grind, and with all of those out of the way, all the theories I've seen you guys drop, all the people worth considering for the Scare Bear mystery, I think I found the answer. The guy who fits almost all the traits, all the things we've been missing, the motivation, everything. And I think that it is Hank. Hank fits all of the criteria besides maybe the size, but hear me out. We know that Hank wants to be an adventurer or a hero or a villain or something. Hank in the past has even tried becoming a villain before. His Enrico Matassa persona with Wide Whale was very successful. He foreshadows himself as a bad guy playing on the bad guy side of the pool volleyball.
Good guys against the bad guys. We're winning.
Why are you on the bad guy's side?
Because Phantom Limb left in a huff. Mostly because we're winning.
His The Bat persona was such a drastic change in his character and like personality. He totally becomes a different guy. But more importantly, he also explains to Dean how when he's in these characters, he feels like he can't even control it.
I don't know. Something just comes over me. In the moment, it's like I am Enrico Matassa or the bad or Russian Guyevich. Does that make me crazy? Am I like the guy in Split?
Hank has a problem being able to even break out of these weird personas when he's caught in them, and they kind of take over his current personality. And so if he was Scare Bear, it wouldn't be a large leap to just say like, oh, he was playing a character. And I think that you guys could see how Hank might end up being a Scare Bear type of dude if given the right circumstances. But obviously the main thing we have to look at is it can't be Hank, because Hank is standing right there next to Scare Bear. You know, obviously they're right next to each other. How the fuck would they be the same guy? And the old me thought a lot about the time machine in that same episode. I was thinking to myself, oh, it's Hank from the future. He's come back to save himself in like a time paradox that self-fulfills itself and sets him on like a different road or something. But I no longer believe this is the case either. Not because I don't think a time paradox could exist or anything like that, but for other reasons. So hear me out. When Doc, Rusty Venture, and the boy's mother, Bobby St. Simone, were together, I believe that she was either pregnant with twins or had the twins already, and that when Doc drove her away, however he did, that she took those twins, Hank and Dean, with her, and that in his grief over losing his love and kids, Doc cloned his own sons for himself. It's a total Doc solution. And also, it would be kind of the perfect separation between two parents. Both sides keep the kids. She leaves with the originals, and Doc, he just ends up cloning some babies for himself. However, over the years, Doc keeps letting them die, so he has to keep cloning more. And we know that each time he clones them, they go back to like being 16. And we know this because they mention their IDs or their diploma or something have the wrong age.
Burn up.
Laminating accident. They're still good though.
You sure?
Because this date is wrong. If I was born the year this says,
Curiosity kills more than the cat, boy. Put him in your wallets like the man said and get dressed.
Guys, he never once told you about me, has he? Not in all your 19 years.
Where's 16?
You see?
To see what, crazy lady?
They grow up so fast. Well, when you let them, I mean.
And I personally believe that this age that they keep on getting cloned to in the modern day is the age that they were at the first time that Doc let the boys die. So he clones some like babies for himself when Bobby leaves with her babies, and along the line they end up dying at age 16, and so he just makes like hundreds of backup clones in the laboratory, and every time they die again he just regrows them back to 16, and so even after 16 years go by he just keeps them at 16 because they keep dying. Ayo, future hero here, and that was actually wrong. Due to the scene we just saw me put on screen, I'll put it on screen again. It would be more likely that as soon as she took the boys away from him, he just ended up making hundreds of clones of the babies, so that I guess if anything happened to them again, he would have backups. We can then assume that he probably didn't actually make these baby clones until a little bit after the originals left, and that's why their stuff like their IDs is out of date, because they're supposed to be older, but they didn't actually get recloned until later. I don't think it's a big leap. I think it all fits within the characterization of the characters from what we know, from everything and everyone involved. I mean, Bobby's getting driven away by Doc. Doesn't really make sense that she would just leave her kids with him, right? Like, and Doc being a super scientist, it would make sense that he'd be able to find a way to just use his father's old inventions to clone himself some new sons. And then when those sons die, he eventually, clones some more, and it gets to the point where he has so many clones in case they die, it's just, not even a big deal anymore if they die. And so this is what I think happens. I think that in this next movie coming out, Hank's going to go off to find his mother, Bobby St. Simone, but what he doesn't know is that she's going to be with the original Hank and Dean that she took all those years ago. The correct older age, grown up, in their adult years and their adult lives, doing whatever. I don't think the writers are actually going to do anything with this time travel shit. I'm looking at you people who think it's the second Brock from House of Mummies Part 2. That's an insane theory. I think that the only reason we see the time machine in the forecast manufacture is because it's foreshadowing that Doc and the Monarch are going to make up and become close friends in the near future, probably during the movie. I mean, think about it. Movie comes out, Doc and Malcolm, they end up becoming friends, they know that they're brothers now, they team up to work through their past and the new conflict of the movie, and at some point, just as like a gag, Doc and Billy end up going through a time machine to like a week ago and see fucking the Monarch in 21, and the reason Doc reacts the way he does is just because he probably is just surprised to see Malcolm in that place in time. And I also believe that Brock Sampson is an alien. No, I'm just joking. I'm just making sure you're still listening. But logically, the next question is, why not the original older Dean then, if that's what you think? Well, like I said, he's not about this whole weirdo freak life, and Hank totally is. Hank, who idolizes Brock, so he might have a knife that is different from Brock's, but it's a knife nonetheless. And he also idolizes Batman and all that shit. He could totally end up as Scare Bear. Think about this original Hank. He wouldn't really know Brock or anything like that, but I'd like to imagine that at least some part of what makes Hank Hank would still exist within the original Hank, even though they have completely different upbringings. And if you think that the original Hank might know about his estranged father and know that there's clones of him constantly getting raised and, cared for and then dying and the cycle repeating, that might have an effect on the original Hank. That might drive him into a position in his life where for whatever reason he becomes Scare Bear and starts like stalking his weird, estranged father's clone family. The Hank that we currently know, he's all about that life, finding himself, getting like caught up in these personalities, being a total fucking weirdo, just like we love our Hank to be. And I think that that's how the original Hank might be too. And like I had said before, both Scare Bear and Hank, they've got similar eyes, similar skin. If the original Hank is older, he could be a lot bigger, and perhaps the suit might add a little something here or there. And we could say that the motivation is that he's just watching over Doc's family because he wants to know what's going on with all of them and wants to know how to exploit it. That's right, exploit it. Because I believe the original Hank Venture is not only Scare Bear, but a very prominent villain. This would obviously explain why he's not only at the Revenge Society meeting because he's a villain, but also at a party for everybody that's like all villains. The Revenge Society, he's stalking Dean, and at the Doom Factory party, maybe Doc is there, so he's got a real motivation for actually stalking the family. He's got a real backstory. It explains why he goes and gets like snacks for Hank and treats Hank with like care, because he cares about Hank, because he's also a Hank. And it explains the most important part of this entire mystery, which is how and why does Scare Bear bring Hank to see Dean and Serena? And this is what I have to say. If the original Hank that left with Bobby St. Simone all those years ago is a villain, there's a pretty good chance that he might be trying to get the Hank we know and love, the last of the clones. No more clones, so this is the only Hank we got. And I think that Scareberry wants that Hank to end up becoming a villain like himself as well. And I gotta say, nothing would make me want to become a villain more than seeing my girlfriend and my brother cheating, you know, behind my back. That would just kind of fuck me up. And so that's what Scarebear's motivation is, to kind of push Hank down this dark road. And, you know, that leaves a lot of questions about, well, what's the original Dean up to? Maybe he's like a super scientist or something to contrast with the super villain original Hank. Kind of like the Monarch and Doc are, brothers that are just arching brothers kind of connection. And so, yeah, if the original Hank acts anything like the Hank we know and love now, I'm not surprised to find out that that's the twist, that he ends up becoming a villain if raised in a different, you know, environment. But if you guys have stuck around till the end, I got a surprise for you. Because if you're truly not biting onto this theory, I got one more guess for you guys. It's actually Ook Ook, and people think I'm joking, but the evidence is really there. Ook Ook in Swahili actually translates directly.
Shut up, bitch!
Shit, bro. I'll save that for a different future video. And the next video will hopefully be coming out a lot faster than the other ones. I'm just gonna try to do a lot of Venture Bros content for a bit, just totally become a Venture Bros channel, because I want to get these out before the movie drops in like 250 years or whenever. And if I die before then, you know, represent me as the guy who either got it all right or was just completely wrong. So drop a comment if you want to get in before the actual answers come out. I'll read them all, and I'll argue with you, and I'll throw your comments in my videos if they're funny. And I'm Hero from the New Fox Clan, and go Team Venture.
Barkeep, where's that suffering bastard?
I'm looking at him.
Oh, ha ha.
Also, I made a new Discord server. This one's like fully for my channel, and you know, just welcoming all the fans, and shout out to the only 4 people in there. Mostly Venture Bros fans if you guys want to shoot the shit about like Adult Swim or whatever else, anime, cartoon, bullshit, comics, pretty much like anything. I cover like just whatever on my channel. So hit me up there if you want to get in touch or, you know, spit some shit. I also made a Patreon because I'm smoking crack and think that somebody might give me money to make these shitty videos. So go check that out if you have severe brain damage.